From the Velocity Accelerator at Innovation Depot in downtown Birmingham, it's Alabama Upstarts. Entrepreneurs, inventors, and startups, this is your chance to meet face-to-face with real venture capitalists. Today's venture capital judges are founder of Liberty Learning Foundation and the co-owner of Stovehouse Properties, award-winning entrepreneur Patty Yancey. Former mayor of Dothan, Mercedes auto dealer, businessman, and one of the leading supporters of emerging entrepreneurs in Alabama, Mike Schmitz. Alabama Upstarts is sponsored by Mid-South Bank, the friendliest and most helpful bank in town. Let's meet our first contestant.
Hello, my name is Michael Polomeni. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. I've been in Huntsville for about 40 years. I've worked on the NASA audio-video contract for a number of years, and this is where my idea came from. I appreciate this opportunity. The idea is you have a conference room that's set up that's empty most of the month. You want a video football game to watch, and the wife doesn't want you messing up the house. The idea is to put a containerized version of a theater in a container and put it on your driveway. You can sit it there. If you have a small company that has a conference once a month, we bring the entertainment center there and let them do their conference. So the idea is to be able to have a theater with 6 to 12 seating is about the regular amount that you would expect. You can also go larger or smaller. Conference room, you would set the same thing. You would set up a conference room and everything would be containerized, and you'd have all the amenities that you need to perform the conference or watch a movie or do a video game contest or whatever you want to call it. And then that's it. That's it. Just taking off-the-shelf items that are readily available and packaging them up in a concept that's easy for the consumer. In large cities, you're going to have somebody that has maybe 100 square foot room that they live in, put a container in a parking spot, they come down with their friends and watch a movie in a nice environment instead of cramming everybody into one little room, or at home changing the baby's room into a home theater, which is going to cost you, minimum $5,000.
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
We'll start out, the size of the conference center or the theater. How does that work?
The ideal size would be so that it fits in a parking space for your city clientele, but you can go up to larger. You can go up to a full container, depending on, what your needs are. So you have everything, and if you wanted to have a double container or double wide theater, you can match that up as well. Everything is containerized and interchangeable. And that's the key issue. You don't have just one thing sitting idle for half the year because nobody wants that size. You're able to add and subtract what you need for a specific event. You're going to have programs like a movie festival. You have the containers all set up, running different or multiple events at one time. So
do you set them up?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything's set up and containerized and ready to go. All we do is plug it up. You could have a self-contained model, which all your power and electric and telecommunications are all there, or you can plug it into the 240 volt at home and run it off of that. And
so how's the cost work? Is it subscription based? Is it
no? It'll be a rental base. It'll be similar.
Rental?
My market would be to sell to Pod, U-Haul, or any of those type of companies that already have the setup for delivery of containerized options, and then they would then sell that service, and then the customer would then buy what they want from whoever they want to download from. As the media market is going to more and more to digital and self-contained, Netflix and Disney and everybody, you would get that information from them, and then we would just be the vehicle that receives it and then puts it up on the large screen.
So you're doing the equipment and
right, the equipment.
And so The U-Haul or whoever
Yeah, whoever's going to do it. Or initially, I'll be my own company doing that setup.
And these will be, you're anticipating these being climate controlled?
Absolutely.
Pouring them.
Absolutely, yeah. You're not going to be in a sweat box.
Yeah.
You know, so it have to, all those functions of, you know, climate control, hookups, you know, self-sustainability. I foresee the client base being the U.S. government for military installations overseas where they can package up a container, ship it over. They have a platoon level group that can go in and entertain or do video conferencing or whatever they need to do.
Costs? What kind of charges?
Well, as far as rental, I'm looking at maybe $200 for a 3-hour event for a football game. And then you could go from there, whether the person purchases it outright or just rents it or leases it on a monthly basis for whatever their monthly video conference would be.
So I'm not real tech savvy. So is it gonna come? Are you coming with it to set it up for me and give me my experience?
Yes. Oh yeah. You wouldn't, you know, because hookups and everything can be confusing if you've never done it before.
Right.
It's all a matter of logistics. You know, and you're going to want to have somebody there.
So somebody will set it up.
Whether it's there to set it up and get it configured and get it started, instruct them what they need to do, or just give them popcorn.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So you'll have someone there. The $200, does that include getting it there?
Yes, everything is. It's a fixed 3-hour window of time.
Who's your number one customer?
My number one customer, ideally, would be the U.S. government. So, but then the secondary markets is people that live in large cities. Are going to have, you know, they want to view whatever event they want to be viewing, and just go downstairs instead of having to, you know, cram everybody into 100 square foot or 200 square foot home.
Well, you did a great job. Thank you for coming.
Okay. All right.
We'll be right back with more contestants on Alabama Upstarts.
Wouldn't it be nice if your bank really wanted to help you out? Your world is increasingly complex, but your banking shouldn't be that way. Our banking promise to you is to be the most helpful bank in town. We're here to help you make money. We're here to help you save money. And we're here to make banking easy and convenient.
Mid-South Bank, where helping you always comes first.
Mid-South Bank, the most helpful bank in town.
Mercedes-Benz of Dothan has a long history of protecting what is most important to you. The Mercedes brand has a strong reputation for constructing vehicles that dramatically lessen the chance of an accident. Features like collision prevention, driver attention assist, and blind spot with rear cross-traffic detection. You'll have peace of mind knowing your loved ones are protected by the most innovative safety features available.
Protect what is most important to you in a Mercedes from Mercedes-Benz of Dothan.
There are times in life when what you do is more important than who you are. When how you respond to others is more important than what you have. When giving all of yourself is the best gift of all. What did you do today? A life-changing experience. Faith Ministry, changing lives one at a time.
Let's visit with a previous contestant.
We had a fantastic experience with Alabama Upstarts. You know, getting to go in and talk with some experienced entrepreneurs, get a little bit of coaching around how to best give our pitch was just a fantastic experience. And you know, being an entrepreneur, I really recommend that anybody else who's considering starting a company take every opportunity they have to pitch. And Alabama Upstarts is a great venue.
Here's our next contestant on Alabama Upstarts.
Hi, I am Terry Ann Hyman, and I'm here to talk about a complementary therapy that goes beyond prescribed medicines to help with anxiety, stress, depression, and even pain relief. One day, back in the late 90s, I was living in New York, and my husband admitted to me he was in love with another woman. I had 2 small children, no family nearby, and I found myself in panic, fear, shock, anxiety. I couldn't even sleep. Nothing seemed to be working, not even traditional therapy. About 9 months in, I went to a spiritual counselor. We talked, she did some hands-on therapy, and I left. I got back in my car, and in the silence I heard, "You're going to be okay." And in that moment, I decided whatever that had happened, whatever therapy, I was going to find out. And so I did. I found out it was Reiki energy. Reiki energy is a natural system of healing recognized by the National Institute of Health under the domain of energy medicine. Reiki works on all levels of the body, emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental layers to bring the body back into balance. Reiki was helping me to cope. It was helping me to let go of the fear and the anxiety, and more importantly, it was helping me to help my children deal with the divorce. So I began to learn about Reiki. Reiki is a modality that you can learn for yourself and use every day, and so I did. I began to study it, and I became a Reiki master teacher, as well as an interfaith minister of spiritual counseling. I began to see so many amazing things with my clients, like how it helped in cancer recovery, how it helped with palliative care and ease the transition of life, and how it began to help other anxious, stressed out people dealing with everyday life transitions. I trained many people, including doctors and nurses in New York hospitals. So when the time came and I found myself an empty nester, I returned to Birmingham, Alabama. My parents were aging and needed extra help. And so this passion for this work drove me back to Birmingham. Since opening my business in 2011, I have trained many people throughout the entire Alabama area in areas of addiction recovery, physical therapy, mental therapy, yoga teachers, and other entrepreneurs like myself. The success of my business has led to train over 375 people, including Rhonda White. Rhonda?
In September of 2013, I had never heard of Reiki. My daughter was 11 years old and her best friend was involved in a car accident that resulted in a traumatic brain injury. I was fortunate enough to be a part of her care team that included hands-on therapy and resulted in a 100% recovery. So in April of 2014, when we discovered that my sister-in-law had leukemia and lymphoma, I was expecting similar results. I was excited when events lined up divinely for my family and me to move back home to Birmingham to help with her healing. However, in August of 2014, she passed. This shook my world, and it left me with two looming questions in my consciousness. First, why do some people heal and others do not? And secondly, how do I help my family during this very difficult time? The search for the answers to these questions led me to Terry's Empowered Spirit program, which included Reiki training. Reiki proved to be an invaluable resource to me and my family through this very difficult time. So, in keeping with a promise to myself, on June the 7th, my daughter's 18th birthday, I completed my Reiki 3 Master Training with a group of dedicated professionals in the areas of art, education, counseling, nursing, and herbal medicine. During our training, we were encouraged to think of ways that we could use Reiki in our professional endeavors, and it soon became very clear that we all had the same barriers to taking that next step, but together we could support each other. With this in mind, we began the work of creating the association, and today I invite you to partner with us in empowering a community of Reiki professionals. By investing in us, you're supporting professionals who are starting their businesses and providing the Alabama community with Reiki, a life-transforming healing practice.
I'm extremely intrigued. I guess the first thing that, because I'm big on natural healing, that sort of thing. First thing comes to my mind though, in the South, there's an education to the market, right? We got to educate the market. So tell me how you guys plan on doing that.
So my business has been in Birmingham since 2012, and I started a podcast. That's one of the things I've done to talk about the work. And I will say, in the last 10 years, there has been a much more greater interest, even like today, asking you, oh, you've heard of it. So I do a lot of education, I do talking, I do podcasts, I do weekly lives on social media. That's one of the ways that we have been working with this. And then the hopes is to bring this community so we all go out in the different areas. I know I can't do it all.
Right.
So we have people in education, we have people over at UAB, we have people at the Integrative Medical, we even have a lot of animal rescue. And so we had proposed to UAB right before COVID, and then everything got shut down. So there is interest and there is knowledge, a lot more in the last 10 years of being here.
That's good. That's good to hear.
So what is the investment? What's the business model that you want?
So we would, for $5,000, we would be able to get our association started. We have the initial resource is going to come from association dues. We have 10 members so far. 6 of those have committed at the $500 level, so we're at $3,000 for that investment. And then, of course, with your $1,000, we will continue to recruit and get association dues to close that gap.
And then we're going to create a space. so that we have the practitioners coming there, because already some of my students are looking for places to go and do the work, right? Right now it's kind of hard, but we do want to have a place where people come. They have the people, the room set up, and they also have what we call like community circles, and we have the place there to come and do that. So that's another way that we'll do that. So that's part of the investment.
Renting some space.
Renting
what
some
you're
space.
Saying. Okay.
Yeah. So really it's twofold. Renting the space to keep that going and to keep the training going and to help this spread throughout, because as you see in the material, there's so many things Reiki helps with. And then the other part would be the membership and keeping that going. And as the membership grows, we do hope to spread throughout the state and then keep the training going. And then again, partnering with UAB and other areas around, other hospitals as well.
Do you see male and female?
Yes, I have, in fact, on our board, we have Paul Wolf, who's on the board, and he is at UAB, and he's a Reiki master teacher as well. I have students right now that are males as well. It works for everybody. And Children's Hospital, that would be a blessing over there as well, too.
Well, you did a great job.
Yeah, congrats. You did a super job.
We'll be right back with more contestants on Alabama Upstarts.
Wouldn't it be nice if your bank really wanted to help you out? Your world is increasingly complex, but your banking shouldn't be that way. Our banking promise to you is to be the most helpful bank in town. We're here to help you make money. We're here to help you save money. And we're here to make banking easy and convenient.
Mid-South Bank, where helping you always comes first.
Mid-South Bank, the most helpful bank in town.
There are times in life when what you do is more important than who you are. When how you respond to others is more important than what you have. When giving all of yourself is the best gift of all. What did you do today? A life-changing experience. Faith Ministry, changing lives one at a time.
Ready for the next contestant on Alabama Upstarts?
Hi, my name is Chef Adair Mason. I'm owner of The Veggie in Huntsville, Alabama. We serve familiar comfort food that just so happens to be vegan. We appeal to existing plant-based consumers by giving them convenience and access to food that they can't get anywhere else in our area, and also to non-vegan consumers by giving them a palatable and easy introduction to vegan food through dishes they're already familiar with. The inspiration behind my business is twofold. One, I went vegan about 6 years ago, experienced a ton of benefits, such as lowering my cholesterol, and also not taking an allergy pill in 6 years, which in Alabama is a huge feat. And the inspiration was also my mother. When I went vegan, my mom kind of affectionately called me a veggie, which is where the name came from. But also in 2016, as I was kind of new to veganism, I saw my mom's health decline, and doctors also recommend to her to try a plant-based diet. But it was really hard for her. There was a lack of access to ready-to-eat vegan food, and just trying to figure out what all the substitutes are and what to incorporate in your diet. So it was a really big barrier for her to make such a big diet change. When my mom passed away in 2017, I started to reevaluate everything and how I could possibly help other people eat better. And so when my mom was healthier, we'd kind of thrown around this concept of, serving people hearty food in a faster environment. But like a lot of working people, the idea of quitting our jobs and starting a business didn't really seem realistic. But my mom passing away was the catalyst I needed to make that jump. And so I quit my job as a weapons systems engineer. I cashed out my 401k and I became my only investor, and that's how The Veggie was born. So we have been operating since 2018. We started out in a really super small shared kitchen as a delivery, catering, and pop-up service. Primarily it's been a one-woman show. I've had a few helpful friends and a couple of part-time employees here and there. But since 2018, we have grossed approximately $250,000 in revenue. And despite the crazy year that was 2020, we grew by 7% in sales last year. So we are preparing next month to move into our first full commercial and retail space at Low Mill in Huntsville, Alabama. That's going to help us keep up with the demand on our product, for me to hire some more employees, and just to kind of see the full vision start to come to life. Of course, in opening our first location, we've got a ton of expenses, from hiring to equipment to marketing. So this investment would help us not just to open our first location, but for me, it's also an investment in my mom's legacy and in our future growth. We hope to be able to open more veggie quick service cafes to give people convenient access to vegan food across the state and the Southeast region.
Awesome.
So what is the investment? Is this going to be a cafe or just delivery?
So we've been a delivery business only up until now. Now we'll have a cafe where people will be able to pick up products. We'll deliver as well. Ideally, we're looking for an investment of $20,000. We'd like to repay that with a revenue sharing model, also with 15% interest and repaying that back quarterly. We're estimating that we would be able to pay that back in 24 months.
Okay. Who's your competition? Like, do you have competition in this particular space, or is just other?
There are other vegan businesses in our city, but no one who offers the extent of services that we do. So we do prepared foods that our clients don't have to cook at all. They just reheat and eat. We do catering, and we also do transition classes to actually help people go vegan. And then now we're adding this pickup portion as well. So there's nobody that offers the breadth of services that we offer. There are people who maybe do one or two of those things, but not everything that we do.
Do you have an educational component then? Because you said you transition people. Do you kind of?
Yeah, so people can come to us and contact us to do transition classes. We're also registered as a cooking school. Okay. So if they need help with figuring out alternatives or just learning how to cook easy dishes, then we can come into their home, or now they can come into the cafe, and we can also assist them in that way.
Gotcha. So do you have an online presence?
We do.
Have, I guess what my thought was, with your personality, are you online saying, because the education part is really the key, and it's so important, and the growth will be tremendous once we understand it. So do you have like your own little show or something?
I don't. We do have a very good online presence through our website. People can order completely through our website. We have a very great social media presence. I like to stay behind in the kitchen, but I'm hearing more that I need to come out of the kitchen.
Yes.
But
you are the face.
It is great when we do the transition classes and being able to be face to face with people and actually seeing them learn more about vegan food and be excited about it.
And with something like this, the fact that you're passionate, believe in it, got a story that's a health-driven story, it's huge for your face to be out there. That would be a big piece for you. I love the Low Mill location. I'm up in the Huntsville area, so I think
that's awesome.
I think you'll do well there.
Well, I recently had open heart surgery, and they said do the same thing, get to be more vegan based, but especially people my age, that's a harder thing to learn. I mean, no one I know knows it. and you get online and you read, but it's not complicated, but it is, right?
It's a process to make those changes. I always recommend to people to start small. I took it 1.5 years to transition to vegan. So I went from eating meat to pescatarian to vegetarian, then vegan. And I recommend for people to start small. Just start changing your refrigerator door. The easiest thing to kind of change is your condiments. They're usually loaded with a lot of sugar and excess fats. So just changing up your ketchup and mayonnaise and things like that can be like an easy way to go in.
How about the cost of the food, like a meal or something? How does that compare?
So right now, our meal prep packages, people can eat with us as little as 1 day a week, which we call the 24-hour vegan, or they can eat with us up to 7 days a week. Our lunches average about $10, and dinners about $11. So again, it's fully prepared. We prepare everything, sauces, dressings. We do all of the cooking, and the client just has to receive it and pop it in the microwave.
Perfect.
Right. We did a great job.
Yeah, super.
You need to be the face online and tell your story. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Alabama Upstarts, providing a runway and launch pad for Alabama's entrepreneurs. Today's $1,000 winner, compliments of Mercedes-Benz of Dothan and Mike Schmitz.
Well, first of all, congratulations. You are the winner of $1,000.
Thank you.
Your presentation was incredible. I think you have a great future, and you have to be the face of the veggie, and I think that your plan is good, and you just did a wonderful job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You could be the next winner with your business idea. Apply at alabama-upstarts.com.
Thank you so much to Alabama Upstarts for this $1,000 check. I'm preparing to open my first location next month at Low Mill in Huntsville, Alabama. This is definitely going to help us buy that new fryer that we're looking to buy. I definitely recommend any entrepreneurs in Alabama, if you need a jump start to your business, definitely recommend applying for Alabama Upstarts.